Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Dragon's Lyre. I, as always, am your host, Wade. Today, we're going to start talking about something that I'm very excited about, one of my big hobbies, which is Warhammer 40k. I've been playing Warhammer for over 20 years now. We surmise it's been about 25. But I've been playing pretty much with the same group of people. Sometimes some people come to join us. Sometimes we lose some people. Sometimes we become part of the community in different cities. So we've met some people from there. But primarily, I play with my really good friends Colin and Justin. And then Justin has a son named Charlie that we play with. But we really enjoy the modeling, the painting, the terrain, those sorts of things. I'm super excited to talk to you about some stuff. Primarily, um, I'm really excited that Squats came out this year. Now, obviously, we're not going to call them Squats anymore because they got a new name. And I really need to remember to not call them Squats because I'm sure that's going to get old real quick. But I was already kind of shopping for an army that I wanted to play, dudes with guns, hopefully like cool technology, like battle suits and stuff like that. I was gonna play Tau just to do battle suits, and then they got their new codex and their rail guns got mega great, and I just don't like feeling like I'm chasing the new codex. I don't like to do that. Um, so I put Tau on the back burner. I might come back to it someday, but big robot suits would be really cool. So I'm really excited to see what the Space Dwarfs are going to have on their side. The one guy that they put out, that Games Workshop put out, in his battle armor with his rifle looks great. I hope that they're super high tech. That sounds really cool, and I would love to be a part of that. Obviously, I'm gonna look into it and watch and listen and stuff like that. I'm not just gonna like freak out and spend a bunch of money without knowing anything. But I'm super excited about that. I play Necrons. I love Necrons. I've always loved Necrons. If you know me personally, Undead Robots is right up my alley. I love Necrons. I've been building Necrons for probably a year now. That was my 2021 army was Necrons. I love it. I've played a little bit of Crusade with them, and I've played a little bit of just matches. Love Necrons. I love what they have to offer. I love their special abilities. Yeah, we got our opportunities and we got our hardships, but I think it's a really cool army to play. Very, most excitedly, I've been a Tyranid player for as long as I've been a player. So 20 plus years. So then in 2020, when Colin and Justin decided that we got together, decided that we wanted to play a crusade. We played a crusade mostly through 2020, and I played Tyranids. A big chunk of those Tyranids were Tyranids that my friend Colin had actually modeled and painted, then sold to someone else in a different community, and then I bought them from that someone else. But I've loved Tyranids. Super long story short, somewhere over the years, I got rid of both of my Necron army and my Tyranid army, sold them off. Some of them fell into disrepair, and I've regretted it ever since. And now that I'm an adult with some good footing under myself, I have the ability to take my time to get the models that I want, to paint them the way that I want, to model them the way that they want. I've learned some skills. I've learned some kit bashing and some magnetizing, and I'm modeling more and painting more than I've ever done before. I'm doing terrain and things like that. So for me, for the hobby in the past 2 years has been great, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. It's really cool, and a big shout out to Colin and Justin for being so consistent. We get together once a month to play, and where I live around Lansing, Michigan, there are at least three big stores that I could go to play throughout the week and definitely over the weekend. Those communities are just huge. Check out Evolution Games and check out AFK Games, Lansing, Michigan. cool places, very cool places. This video, I just wanted to be my, like, start off, getting to know you type video as far as 40K goes. So I have a really big guard army. I played Imperial Guard for a while. Tanks, parking garage, tanks. I have a lot of Lehman Russes and a Shadow Sword, and I love them. Data slate information that just came out recently. So this is being made in April of 2022. So data slate information that just came out recently. Yeah, the Lehman Russes had their save moved to 2+. That was a while ago. But I think it's called Hammer of the Emperor. The first rank fire, second rank fire, and the weapons auto wounding on 6s. Super cool. Before that came out, I was like, Imperial Guard, I don't think I can make it work. And now that we have Imperial Guard with the Hammer of the Emperor, I got to look at it again. I got to really focus on it and read it and think about it. But if it is the way that it looks, 6 is auto wounding. It looks amazing, and I'm super excited. And you're talking to a guy that has an Imperial Guard tattoo. So I think that would be really cool. So I have a lot of guard. I have a pretty good Necron force. I could do over 2k points, but that would be using everything that I have. And with Tyranids, I could do probably 3,000, but that would be using like everything that I have. You're not going to hear me talk a lot about points because Colin and Justin, we play power level. Colin, Justin, and Charlie, we play power level. I like it a lot. It works out to be just about right almost every time. Sometimes it's plus or minus 10. Sometimes it's plus or minus 20. But I've never seen it be plus or minus like 100 or 500 or anything like that. So we play power level, so you're not going to hear me talk about points that much. I always look at it because for 20-some years, I was focused on points. But now we're playing power level. I like it a lot. It works out. It works out for us. And that's what's important. Do what you and your friends agree on. Do what you and your community agrees on. Do it your way. So another thing that I wanted to put out here, I play Imperial Guard, Necrons, Tyranids. We got our new codex. So excited for that. I've been trying to make videos to showcase different parts of the NID codex. I'm really excited to share with non-NID players how we work now and what we do. I recently went into a store in Ann Arbor, a really nice store called the Golden Rhino. Go check it out, Golden Rhino, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Great stock on the shelves, helpful people. And I got to talking, because I'm looking for what everyone's looking for right now, which is a Male Scepter and a Harpy. But I was looking for that, and some people were making comments about, Games Workshop putting out a new codex and making all these units really cool now. And of course, they didn't make any extra of them. So now there's super scarcity. And I started talking about Harpies, what I like about Harpies. And the guys there, like one guy was painting Black Templars, and another guy, he was just kind of getting his stuff out. But anyways, they knew nothing about what a Harpy does. And so that was really cool to be able to talk to them about the fact that it's maneuverable, which means before it moves, it makes a 90-degree turn in anywhere. And then anywhere along that movement, it can make another 90-degree turn, which I think is super important for flyers. Plus, it can hover, which means, I believe it's in the command phase, it chooses to lose several of its flyer abilities and just become a model that flies. And it loses it for one turn. You choose whether it hovers or not. But just to be able to, I'm an aircraft. I'm not an aircraft. I'm an aircraft. I'm not an aircraft. It's hard to hit me. It's not hard to hit me. I can melee combat other flyers. I can't melee combat other flyers. The power to choose. And what's funny is I don't mind sharing this information with you, but I really don't want to share this information with Colin or Justin because I'm going to use one. I'm going to use a Harpy because the guns are great on them. I love monsters. lots of wounds. I'm probably going to make it a synapse creature by the time the world is done, so I can use it for my synaptic link. But just being able to choose to hover, and this flyer now comes down out of the sky and melee combats units. And the next turn, flies away. Very cool. And nobody else in my group is doing it. Nobody's using any flyers. So to have that uniqueness, I like that. And to be using rules that take advantage of other people, rules that they're not using, I think is a tactical advantage. I know Charlie has missiles that he uses. Charlie plays Space Marines. I know he has missiles that he uses that are good against aircraft, but I'm not worried about 2 missiles. I think they're single use. Maybe they're not. They're on his dreads. But anyways, so I wanted to give that introduction. You know what my life has been like, what I've done with 40K, what I'm currently doing. I got my eyes on squats. I really got my eyes on Space Dwarfs. Super excited. They said later this year. Who knows? You know, Games Workshop. And you know, I told you that I'm super interested in building a Tau army. Maybe the squats would, you know, scratch that itch. Because for me, I don't want to build railguns. That's not about railguns. I know railguns are super hot right now. I don't want to do railguns or Merker lights. I'm much more interested in battlesuits, in drones. And yeah, battlesuits for me, Riptides count and Storm Surges count, but I'm not just interested in super heavy. I like mecha. So that's what I want to build. Is I want to have a mecha focused army. And then Khorne. You know, for a long time, I was like, I'm never going to play demons. I'm never going to play chaos for a long time. But I would like to build a world leaders. And probably even, like, you know, those people who completely rebuild a whole Space Marine chapter. And so, like, every Space Marine's got a name and has specific gear. I think I might want to do that with world leaders. I've just always loved Khorne Berserkers, and there's some cool chaos tricks that I want to play, some cool chaos stuff that I want to do. You know, I think about Thousand Suns, but for a while, you know, they've been pretty OP, everybody says, so I don't know. Once again, I mean, I know they haven't had a codex drop recently, so they've been left behind by the meta, but I just don't like feeling like I'm chasing a codex. So as part of my introduction, I wanted to show you Battlescribe. So Battlescribe is an app that you can download for free. I like it. It's not the Games Workshop official app, but I hear there's a lot of problems with that. So just when you open it up here, and my apologies if I stumble with it a little bit, but you can create a new roster. I'm going to call this... new NIDS. Add the force. So Tyranids, I am gonna put it into a patrol. Bam. Okay. And I think from here I hit okay. Yes, haha. Okay, so what it does is it opens up everything here on the left side. So boom, there's everything that you can add right there. You know, up here it's asking you about Hive Fleet. I'm going to run Leviathan because I think Transhuman is great. And I'll get into it when I review the NIDS, what that means. But that's my configuration stuff. I do like this because it tells you what errors you have. So it's pointing out that I don't have an HQ yet and I don't have a troop yet. And then it keeps track of what you're spending for CP and whatnot. So, of course, you know, I'm spending the CP to get the detachment, but I'll get the CP back because my Warlord's going to be in it. So I'm going to close this configuration business. I am going to use those two. Oops. Because I'm a big fan of the Neurothrope. I love myself a Neurothrope. So here's the thing. Now it opens up. So we've got our first unit. So I'm going to shrink that down. We've got our first unit. It opens up all your choices. So I'm going to make him my Warlord. Boop. So you see the CP change right there? And it's got our point total that we've used. So here's my Warlord. I know I'm gonna use Resonance Barb. It's just the way I like it. I am using Leviathan Hive Nexus with him. I think I also run Psychic Scream. He's gonna know Smite no matter what. But I'm going to run Psychic Scream and I'm just gonna say Catalyst. That's not probably what I'm gonna run for a game, but that's what it's gonna be. And then I know I'm gonna use Synoptic Tendrils. Okay, so I just kind of accidentally showed off one thing I really like about using Battlescribe on the computer. I've got it on my phone, so there I can look at stuff anywhere I go. But in Battlescribe, you can mouse over something and it just shows you the rule. Like, boom, there's the rule. Boom. There's the rule. Takes a little bit to load sometimes. Boom. There's the rule. So it shows you right away. I like that a lot. So there's my Zonothrop. I showed you all of the choices and options that I made. And I'll go through more detail when I show you how I build. So I am going to throw a Winged Hive Tyrant in there because if you know me, I love my Winged Hive Tyrant. He did very well for me in the first Crusade that I did. So that was like 2020. Before, this codex that we just got. I'm just going to build a small one, a 25 power level. I went past all that stuff because I was looking for troops. So I'll show you another cool thing that Battlescribe does. So I pulled that over. I dropped a troop in, so now we got our troop. I'm going to close that out. So I'm going to add adrenal glands, flesh hooks, and toxin sacs because when you're playing power level, that stuff really doesn't matter. The points really don't matter. It's like whose line is it anyways? The points are made up and nobody really cares. The power level is what you got to look out for. So like right now I'm at power level 20 and my power level target is 25. So what I like to do, I'm going to back out those two. So I've only got one warrior right now in this squad of 3. I'm going to drop out the Lash Whips. I'm going to put in the dual Bone Swords. I'm going to change the Devourer to a Death Spitter. So now I've got the one warrior the way that I like him. Dual Bone Swords. Oh yeah, buddy. Death Spitter, I think it's the best choice to take some shots as I advance. See Death Spitter right there, range 24, 3 assault. Take some shots while I advance. I'm not excited about move 6. Anyways, we'll get into that in a Tyranid video. But I thought I could duplicate him. Customize name review section. Huh. I thought I could duplicate him and then transfer him down. Evidently I cannot. That makes me sad. Dooby-doo, dooby-doo, dooby-doo. Add another Tyranid warrior. Oh, what did I do? Ah, okay, yeah. Boom. So yeah, they're not set up the way that I wanted them. Anyways, I thought I could just duplicate it down. I can on my phone, which is bad show, but oh well. Can't do anything about it now. Dual Bone Swords and Death Spitters. Death Spitters, Dual Bone Swords. Okay. So I'm still at 20 power level, but there's the duplicate. Boom. So I was able to just right click it and bring down some options, and there was my duplicate. So I got my 3 warriors the way that I wanted them there, and then I duplicated it down. My power level is 24, and the points that I spent is 500. So I'm right on track. I'm one power level under, but as far as I know it, there's no Tyranid thing that's one power level. And what I mean by thing is a unit. Our adaptive physiologies, a lot of those are one power level, but you can only put it on a monster that's not a character. And the only monster I've got is a Hive Tyrant, so I can't use an adaptive physiology. Adaptive physiology is great, it's very cool, but I just can't use it in this list. So, anyways, that is my overview. It's my introduction to Warhammer 40k. It's my very short and simple overview of Battlescribe. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you can teach me something about Battlescribe that I'm not doing right or that you understand. Let's take a look at my problems here. Must have one more selection from Battle Size. Must have one more from Hive Resonance. Or sorry, from Hive Mind Discipline. So it's telling me that in my HQ, see the little icon there? In my HQ, that I did not pick one more psychic power, basically. Right there. Oh. Oh, yeah, okay, so it wants some... It wants one from that menu, basically. Because Neurothrope with the Resonance Barb is going to know 4 powers. So, anyways, and then up here it's telling me that there's a problem with the detachment size. But anyways, you can fix that. That's easy. It's not a problem with the units. It's not a problem with any of the upgrades or anything. But like I said, that's me playing 40k. The only thing that I don't like about Battlescribe is the way it looks when it prints. So maybe if you have any knowledge or information to help me get a better looking, more useful copy, because when it prints, I just think it's not useful at all. It prints lots of good information, so that's useful, but I don't like the layout. So maybe there's something that you could teach me there. Go ahead, feel free to like and subscribe to us. Drop a comment down below. Please feel free to share us with anyone that you know, anyone who's interested in the hobby or in the craft or in the game, somebody who has played for a long time, somebody who is just new. Feel free to leave us some comments, interact with us. We'd love to talk to you about Tyranids and Necrons and even tournament play and league play and stuff like that. I'm not a super competitive player, but it'd be cool to play and to win a tournament somewhere. I'm not looking to be the best player in the world. I'm not a angry, mean, super hyper competitive person. That's just not who I am. The Dragon's Lair is all about the love of the game, love of the things that bring us together that we can share. We want to thank you for spending your time with us today here at the Dragon's Lair.